Welcome, one and all, whoever may be watching this, part 28, Tides of Numenéra. Let's go talk to Adiris, progress this plot a little bit, and then, I don't know, maybe have some chats with a few other people. Or maybe just keep going. I did... Okay, so I spoke to Aretus, the true Aretus in the labyrinth, before he became the man I met in Sagus. He was a simple herdsman who stumbled across a box of demons. I need to find someone knowledgeable, maybe a doctor who can help him. I don't think we've come across any doctors thus far. But then there's also this one. So the cultists have opened the Endless Gate somewhere in the necropolis. I need to find it and figure out a way to close it. Ooh, ask Oddwald. Who's Oddwald? Maybe he... Wait, but I talked to him. I'm pretty sure there was no option about Choi. Okay, I guess maybe if we end up back in the necropolis, we can have a look at those things.
Go. I'll remember that.
Even among all of your siblings and me, Levest, this woman is remarkably beautiful. Clad in a robe of myriad colours, she carries herself with a distinct grace and ease. Her skin is dark brown, her hair a rippling midnight black. Her violet eyes blaze momentarily as you approach, and she holds up her hand. Her voice is musical and sweet. You're most welcome here, sister. I am Adiris. I am the peacekeeper of Mia Levest. Word of your birth and exploits has reached us here already, she smiles. News travels fast in the cast-off world, as I'm sure you've already seen. I know your desire to speak with Mazov. I've even heard a rumor that you can alter the past, that you restored Mekina? This is strange to me, for I have two memories on the subject, one in which Mekina is whole, as we all know her now, and another in which her mind is incomplete. She laughs. Perhaps my mind is the one that's incomplete. I remember it, Adiris, the attack on Khorne Village where Paj destroyed my friends. You remember that? In another timeline, Tash used his mind wipe on me. He filled my mind with holes so that I wouldn't remember, and he ruined my life. I tell you that my memory of that time has changed. I'm whole again. Adiris trusts only the new reality. That actually makes me feel less insane. She raises an eyebrow. But how do I know that our newest member hasn't simply used a different form of mind control to give you false memories? I have a Mircaster here in which Mazov is said to appear, but I do not wish to expose him to the dangers of an untested psychic. She faces you fully. I have some limited psychic ability myself. If our new friend will allow me, I would examine your mind for the truth. You don't need to probe my mind, it's the truth. I can change reality by using Mircasters. She gives you a smile that on anyone else would be patronizing, but on her looks genuinely sympathetic. I hope you will understand that our kind especially enjoys embellishing the truth. I won't be satisfied until I see for myself. She puts a hand on her hip. I would never do such a thing without your permission, of course, but examining your mind is the only way I can be certain. If you must, don't probe too deeply. This will take but a moment. She places gentle fingers on your forehead, and you feel a swell of color thrill your innermost core. A kaleidoscope of emotion shakes you, a gamut of experiences recognized and echoed, magnified and reflected. When she removes her hand, her eyes are wet with tears. Forgive my doubt, sister. I believe you now. I believe you are capable of changing reality.
Making a note.
Oh. Why would our sire give her this ability? A side effect, perhaps? Or... She holds up a slender finger. But if anything, this makes me more leery of handing you a brother's Mircaster. If you wish to speak to Mazov, you must prove to me that you can be entrusted with the minds of one of our brethren. You cured Makina, but did you understand Tash? Did you take care of his innermost self as well? Before I give you this Mircaster, I would have you speak with Melmoth Leverim. It is my contention that we draw the sorrow to us with our abuse of the tides, which is why I do not use our tidal powers. I believe our use of these powers is inherently painful to those around us. For instance, was anyone with you when you awoke to consciousness? 2 people, an Aeon priest named Allegan and a Nano named Calestige. They were arguing as I awoke. I'd wager any simmering tension snapped into sharp focus. If they were lovers, for example, they might have fallen deep into love's spell, but if they were breaking apart, your blast of tidal energy would have riven them, destroyed their relationship. She pauses and you feel a tickle of her mind on yours. That's what happened, isn't it? They were not arguing for nothing. Go see Melmoth. Ask him about the tides. When you've done that, we will speak further. As you wish, I'll return when I'm done. Well, at least this is speaking to someone, and it's not, go off and find me, Melmoth. Where are you? There you are.
Let's do
Oh, he's the guy who laughed at me. Your eyes are drawn to the tattered leather robes and the profusion of tubes that wire this man. He is lighter-skinned with piercing eyes and a hideous pitted scar on his face. He could be handsome, but centuries of neglect have ravaged his looks. He sees your companion and hisses, Makina. What about this newborn cast-off would have motivated her to come back here? Her voice is flat and measured. Melmoth, you know I've always wondered, if you were to die, would your followers eat you? Yolen, for instance? How did that ever turn out? Yolen, ha! That's a name I haven't heard for some time. Your old friend left an inedible corpse, probably to hide the crimes you and he planned. Now look, you've been away for a while, and I understand your memory isn't what it was. He trails off. Did I dream someone telling me that? Was it a vision? Bah, no matter. What was I saying? Something about my memory. A trenchant and witty comment about my powers of recollection, no doubt. His only reply to her is a long, unpleasant sneer. He looks at you and says, You travel in bad company, sibling. Anger her and she'll find a way to scar you. Even if she leaves no other mark in the world, likely she'll leave pain. It's immortality of a sort, I suppose. He barks out a short laugh. Cast off humor, you'll learn. The Feretory. What happened to me? Curiosity happened to you. He claps you hard on the shoulder. No one knows. I'd venture as far to say it's some kind of psychic defense mechanism to keep prying noses from tampering with it. But I've gotten precisely nowhere with my investigations, so all you get from me is useless speculation. Adiris told me to come speak to you about the tides. You'll find none better equipped to answer the question, certainly. The tides are an inextricable part of us, and... He snaps a clamp on one of the attachments on a tube. Wait, she sent you to me? He peers closely at you. Interesting. Every time I talk about the tides, she argues with me, as if she'd spent a fraction of the time I have studying them. What game is Adiris playing? She probably said that we bring pain through our existence. Let me enlighten you. Everyone brings pain to others. I have experienced so many lives and memories, and one of the common threads in all of them is pain. Do we hurt other people? We do. But how do we differ from any mortal in this regard? Show me someone without pain, and I will show you a corpse. He winks. And then I'll eat it.
Updated my journal.
We are imperfect. We leak tides or absorb them, or both. Our powers impinge on the minds of others, upon their nervous system if you prefer. We draw strength from them, we change them in the process, and not usually for the better. This is regrettable, but unavoidable. Adirus might have said that the sorrow is hunting us because we abuse the tides or some such nonsense. But if that's the case, we're doomed by the nature of our existence. If true, why not use the powers we have? Adirus thinks that a tidal surge on my birth was responsible for the devastating argument between two humans. It's entirely possible. The tides are a psychic force, and when we're born, our minds snap into a particular shape and force out the residue. An unprotected mind nearby might well absorb some of that energy and react in unpredictable ways. But what of it? Does this change anything in your life? Two mortals had an argument. Oh no! Boo-hoo! How do you know so much about the tides? He sighs, exasperated, and holds up his bony hand, folding his fingers back as he counts. 1. I am hundreds of years old. I can devote this kind of time. 2. I am dedicated to knowledge. 3. I will do anything in its pursuit. 4. I learned to draw memories from dead people. 5. I sought the dead who could teach me about the tides. He lowers his fist. Follow that trail of thought. You'll find me at the end. That's how I know. And why do I do this, do you think? Let me tell you, since you've clearly wanted to ask. It's because the changing man thought the tides were important. He uses the tides to shape us. Do you want to know more about how you were created? I did, and so I researched the tides. The reason for this is I am not an idiot, unlike so many of our siblings. He looks at you appraisingly, and you feel a wave of disgust as his aura overwhelms you. You're weak. You know about your tides, but you don't use them. At least you don't use them well. You should. Don't listen to Adirus. Make use of the tools available to you. He leers. Be like me. I'll teach you. Why do you think the sorrow pursues us? He waves a finger at you. I don't waste my time worrying about it. Like worrying about the death of the cosmos, it'll come sooner or later. You want supposition? Here's a list. Because of our mad creator, vengeance, sheer bloody mindedness. Maybe it loves tides, or loathes them. It could be it hates what we're doing with the tides. But if you talk to Adirus, say, you'll find she never uses hers. I use mine all the time, yet the sorrow would destroy us both. He adjusts the tubes on his outfit. I worry more about the deaths of others and how I might gain some of their knowledge, not about the first dead vendetta, nor our creator's desire to kill us, nor certainly not an unstoppable monster from the past. What are the tides anyway? Where did they come from? You know they're a psychic energy field. They pervade the greater Sagus protectorate, but the pockets of tidal activity are localized in the ninth world. That suggests that though they're a natural force, they're also artificially induced. Civilizations have risen around their use. He frowns, and civilizations have fallen. He scratches his nose. Odd thing. I have sought to decipher the accounts of those times, but the creatures that made them are strange. The sorrow shows up in images and sounds and spectra I can barely understand. He taps his head. That's why I sought a better method. You get the occasional disease, a strong mind that doesn't want to share its memories with you, but everyone wants to be remembered. Talk to the voices long enough, they realize you're their only true heir. You said you can teach me how to use the tides more effectively. How?
I'll remember that.
Focus. I'll teach you to direct that power, shape it, draw from it. He belches and a thin green film coats his chin before he wipes it away. Danger of eating brains. Sometimes you get an infected one. No worries, it'll clear up in a few days. Cast off Constitution, now. He strokes your cheek with a long finger. The world shivers around you. You have seen a mere caster, yes? The process is similar, but you focus upon yourself. Yay! Tidal affinity has been increased by 1. Do not empty your mind. A subtle difference. Clear it. Feel the ebb and swell of the tidal energy. Look at your hand. As he speaks, your vision blurs, replaced by a kaleidoscopic tapestry of writhing, twisting colors just above your skin. A roadmap of vibrant, vascular life. Now, whispers Melmoth, imagine that energy flowing into your hand. You do, and the colors coalesce in your palm. See? You see? The tides respond to you. They are a part of you, and you can make that force work for you. If you push them outward slowly, you can coil them around someone's mind and bend them to your will. You can focus them like a bolt, or you can explode. He pulls his hand away and your vision returns to normal. But you must practice. The knowledge is inherent in you. It's part of your body. Now you've seen it. The question is, will you use it? The lesson is over. Okay, farewell. I think that's what I was supposed to come for.
I'll handle it.
Have you spoken to Melmoth then? What did he say? He said that the tides are within us and that we should use our powers as necessary. She laughs. I imagine he called me a fool and worse. He has done more research into the tides than anyone else here in Mia Levest. Tell me, did he say anything else? He said I should ask where your powers come from, if not the tides. I awoke with them. They are not, as far as I am aware, any manifestation of tidal energies. It's not as though we have a measuring apparatus, of course, but I think I would know if I were using these forces. At any rate, I sent you to speak to Melmoth. Do you believe that he has conducted his studies with anything but his own power in mind? He seems to care deeply for the preservation of knowledge. So he says, and he has certainly gone to great lengths to do so. I don't believe in his positions, nor his conclusions, for he may well have inflated the results to justify his actions, but he refuses my mind's touch and he rebuffs my attempts to inquire more deeply. My own personal views are, of course, irrelevant to the deeper truth that he has his own motives, and they may be purer than mine.
I'll remember that.
So I have another task for you. Andronis and Rayma are arguing. The recent negotiations between the Chalcedon and Page broke down, and these two have taken it hard. They are like to come to blows if they cannot be reconciled. She bows her head. If one strikes the other, the laws of Mia Levest are clear. The attacker will be evicted. I don't know if the sorrow is truly more active, but they came here choosing safety, and it is my wish that they have it. Please, speak with them. Will she take control outside of their minds as well, or will she let them choose their own path? Adirus, of all of us here, you're the only one who doesn't seem to want anything, who isn't openly manipulating the others for her own benefit. So what's the play? You say we're free to choose and to own our choices. So what choices are you making? What do you really want? She's using everyone. She just doesn't want to admit it. Maybe it's vanity, or maybe something else. Hear her answer. She smiles at Makina sadly. What I want is an end to our stupid internecine warfare. I want us to work together. The squabbles between our sire and those who support the legacy of the first mean nothing in the face of the sorrow, but get any two of us together and the larger threat vanishes while our death creeps closer. She gestures towards the beauty around her. Mia Leveste is a garden, a cage. The sorrow can't come in, but we can't leave. Have you seen animals locked in a menagerie? They are restless, caged, yearning to be free. But if they leave the cell, they are haunted by their would-be keepers. So it is with us here, but instead of uniting to solve our problem, we lash out at each other. I would see us set aside those differences. You are my older sister, and so I am cautious in saying this to you, but you have a certain reputation. Even among the rest of us, you are known to be hard, unforgiving. You carry grudges through centuries, even beyond death. Makina, please, you need to let go. Her voice rasps from her dry throat. Nearly all the authors of my tragedies have been our kind. Our sire in his abandonment in my moment of peril, the first in her order to slaughter my village, Paj who bloodied her blade herself, Tash who claimed to be a friend and turned on me, Melmoth who offered me aid and betrayed me to the authorities. She turns her head to glare at Melmoth nearby. Need I go on? Do you always act with full knowledge, sister? Are your choices made rationally, with forethought, or do you react without thinking? Think on this, and think on what example you set. She's right, Makina. It's time to start letting go of old hurts. She smiles radiantly. You have been given a wise companion, Makina. I am not asking you to change now, only to consider change. As for you, youngest child, go and speak to Rayma and Andronis. I am confident your wisdom can help them as well. Alright, farewell. Jeez, it's just back and forth and back and forth. Alright, where are these guys up here? Alright, I won't talk to them just yet. I'll leave that for the next video because I could imagine it might be a long conversation.